I arrived in the city a little after the scheduled start time of 12 PM and got some strange Titanic vibes. Not sure why that is. Christmas decorations were already up in Federation Square, which is nice. As I got close to the protest, it already felt huge. The energy radiated off the people who were clearly in high spirits. It felt like a good time to make a montage. That over and done with, it was time to find Dave and get his deep and insightful views of the world around us today and the protest in general. In usual Dave fashion, he was late, but that gave me a chance to do some of my own extra filming.
Well, as you saw probably in the video that I just showed, depending on how I edit it, there's quite a few people at this protest just about to meet David. They're still walking down, like they're walking down from Parliament. I'm not exactly sure where they're going. I think Flagstaff Gardens is what the ad said, so that's probably where we're headed. It should be a bit of fun. David's nearly here, going to get some thoughts from him, and then I might get some thoughts from just randoms in the crowd, which could go well. Obviously, if I don't like him, I don't have to put him in. But we'll see how it all pans out. But yeah, it's really good to see all the people just really angry at what that dickhead Dan Andrews is doing to this state. But either way, it's good to just see a lot of people out as well, because we've been locked down for so long, and it's a great day.
Dave was still late even after all that, so I started filming the crowd again, which was clearly enormous. Then finally, right on time, he turned up, but not alone.
It's great to see what spreading deliberate fake news. Deliberate fake news, just lies about the vaccines. We've deliberately made everybody scared, and we've managed to get 200,000 people into Melbourne's central business district. So I'm pretty proud of this. It's amazing what like a little bit of lying on your blog can do. We've infiltrated the entire movement, and we'd just be pushing for chaos, basically.
And David, I noticed this very soon after I arrived here, which was well before you, and I thought I was going to be late.
Yes.
But guess what? David, living up to the meme of being late.
I'm always late.
Was late again.
A wizard is never late, Matty. And a wizard is never late.
I was like, I'm going to be late. No, I wasn't late at all. I noticed that it's a very Australian crowd.
It's extremely Australian.
It's a very Australian
I'd say about 98% Australian.
Pretty much all Australian,
Yes.
apart from a few standouts.
Yeah.
So well done to actual Australian people for standing up for what is actually Australia.
Yeah, that's it.
And if only they knew what power they'd have if they actually identified as Australians together.
Well, what I like is that we finally found a reason to get everybody out for something like this. The government is openly oppressing the people, openly pushing through legislation to make Daniel Andrews dictator for life.
Yep, scumbag.
They've literally kept people in their homes for nearly 2 years. And people are finally clicking on that something is happening, and it's uniting people from across a whole range, a huge spectrum of people that wouldn't be united otherwise. It's great to see it finally happening, and I hope it happens every single weekend.
Yeah. And obviously keep things peaceful, but, we don't advocate to break the law, we advocate for a change of the law.
Yes.
Do we not? So
absolutely, yeah.
I can think of a few laws that I could change, but one of them would be to sack Dan Andrews right now. That should be law. It should be written into law.
Well,
they should pass a bill that says Daniel Andrews may never be Premier ever again, nor any of his seed or his seed until all generations.
That's
Is
all
that not- I think
generations. I
that's-
like the sound of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think that should be a new law.
Yeah, absolutely. He's under pressure because
Yeah.
you know he's got people in his own party crossing the floor.
Yep.
He's pulling out all the stops to try to paint this as some kind of a fringe extremist movement, when clearly it's not.
Well, we're here, so it's obviously a far-right extremist rally.
Well, yeah,
now,
we as I said,
officially.
we've infiltrated the.
It's
entire
officially a
thing.
far-right
We set the
extremist rally
entire
because we turned up.
Yeah.
That's the media logic anyway. Let's see how that pans out.
Here's another thing. If 90% of Victorians 12 and over are fully vaccinated or vaccinated, if you're getting 200,000 people here in Melbourne today, that's like the population of Victoria is 6.6 million. So there are 660,000 Victorians unvaccinated, and like 12 and over, that could be even smaller.
Yeah.
You could literally have half the unvaccinated population of Victoria here in Melbourne. Somehow, that doesn't really add up to me. Somehow, the numbers that they're telling us doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up to me either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to see Melburnians turning out for freedom, to get rid of Dan Andrews. This what's been happening in Victoria is outrageous, and it's terrific to see everyone here. It must be a crowd of at least, I don't know, 100,000 plus.
We're sick of Daniel Andrews in our lives. We want him to get out. I would like to go to grab a coffee at my local cafe, just like Scott Morrison said, without having to show my vaccine passport, without having to show a mask. I'd like her to stop having to wear a mask at school, Daniel Andrews. Yeah, why is my 17-year-old brother allowed to go to school without a mask? My 9-year-old sister has to. Scum, Daniel Andrews.
Hey Logan.
How you going, mate?
Cracking.
Oh, not much. Just been chilling out, working,
Yeah.
stuff like
What
that.
put you down to the Great Australian Awakening protest today?
Well, a need for freedom.
Yeah.
A need for Dan Andrews, a bloody communist, to get the fuck out of Parliament.
That's right. Shouldn't even be in there.
No, he shouldn't be.
Anything you want to say to him?
Dan Andrews, kill the bill and go suck a dick.
How many people do you reckon are here, Matty?
Well, you said about 200,000, but I'm just going to say 1 million because that's what the media does these days.
Yeah.
We embellish the truth in order
I
to
don't
push
think
our
we're
narrative.
embellishing. I think I was just being a little bit more conservative. But I
Yeah.
think you're being more realistic, Matty.
Probably is 1 million people here, I reckon.
Yeah.
Although I haven't got an aerial shot, so I don't know, but I'm just going to say it's 1 million because, and then you can say it's been reported that there's 1 million people here.
Yes.
So if you say, because I reported that there's 1 million people here, and then you just say it's been reported that there's 1 million people here, and that means it's news. It's real.
But this
it happens.
This is how we spread
and he's
fear.
doing his job as a journalist because it's been reported. He's not lying.
Absolutely,
You know?
yes.
You understand? Like this is just giving people a lesson in mainstream media propaganda. But anyway, yeah.
Basically, that's how we can continue to spread fear and lies. And,
Just walk slowly, I guess.
You'll find I'm not a very good cameraman, Matty.
Well, it might help if you're bad because it'll make the shot of my face maybe a little bit more blurry, so the people won't have to look at it the whole time. Or at least it'll make maybe it's like how chicks use makeup, blokes use accidental on
Matty,
purpose camera blur.
It's another earthquake in Melbourne.
Hey?
It's another earthquake in Melbourne.
Whoa! I don't know what else. What else is there to talk about? Hey?
What I love is that you can see that crowd going all the way down Main Street, and I reckon they're
They're
probably
turning
turned
right.
off.
Yeah, they're turning to the right. They're going to
So what we can see here is not even the full crowd.
Not even close.
I do have
not
a
even
question.
close to the full crowd.
So
Right.
what I find
This would be like a fraction of the crowd, what you can see from here to turning right, I'd say.
What I find interesting
Yeah.
is that, like, growing up, I was always told how massive the anti-Vietnam War protests were.
Yeah.
And they did. They compared the aerial shots of the Vietnam War to protests to the one last week, and the one last week was bigger than the one in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
So
This is much bigger than last week, I would bet. I didn't go to last week, but I reckon it would be. Look what she's written up there. Did you see that?
yeah, something. I think it says "Let's go, Brandon."
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Is that what it says?
Yeah, that's it.
He probably is, But again, it's been reported it's been reported. This is what's been reported.
Yes.
Because it was that's what they're reporting.
Yes.
Are they not reporting that? I don't know. Is that a report or is that just an opinion? Maybe.
I think that's just people standing on a tram stop,
Yeah.
making their message known.
Yeah. Where people blur their faces so they can't be identified.
I just want to get rid of Daniel Andrews.
Yeah, I want to get rid of him. I want him to get sacked, and then I want the Lord to rain hot hell down on his life and have him kicking and streaming, thrown into the lake of fire forever for being such a wicked individual.
Even before that happens, we've been talking about the fact that Daniel Andrews is probably going to want to have to be dictator for life, because is he ever going to be able to show his face in public in Victoria again?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. Well, I joke about him getting thrown into hell, and living in hell. I think that he could end up in that because he's just so unpopular. Yeah. I don't care what the opinion polls say. Like, you have a look at the approval rating. What is approval? Like, yes or no, right? How do they know that the people saying no aren't saying like quadruple I hate him with an absolute passion no, and the people who are saying yes are just like, yeah, who cares, whatever. So he could be much more hated than any poll has ever said, and I think that he is extremely well resoundingly hated by a significant number of the Victorian community for very good reason. And he's just trying to, and this is already before the bill, and now he's just trying to rub salt in the wound by setting himself up as the unrivaled ruler of the eminent domain of Southern Australia, formerly known as Victoria. And he wants to set himself up as the prince of the power of darkness for life, or his lieutenant for life down here in Victoria. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to find himself turfed on his bum eventually. But who knows, we might be wrong. Maybe Satan has a few more tricks up his sleeve, so we'll see how he goes, eh?
So it's the other thing, this protest dwarfs the AstroTurf ones that we saw, which the rallies against Australia Day.
Yeah.
The ABC and SBS were going on about how this clearly shows that there's lots of support in the Australian community for changing the date of Australia Day. What they're not showing you is they're not showing you all of that.
Yeah. How will the media going to report on this? Like, how would you actually report on it? It's hundreds of thousands of people extremely angry at the government and what they've done, and willing to stand up and make it, and be known and tell the government that they don't like it. But yeah, the media will say, it feels like 5,000 people here on National Sorry Day. They'd be like, it's the greatest Sorry Day protest in history. Yeah. Australia clearly wants to say sorry to the Aboriginals.
But it's always just the same. It's always just the same university students.
Exactly, the same university students, foolish chicks, and the dudes who want to get into their pants. Every single one of those. Every single one of those protests. This is like a grassroots thing, and there's lots of people here. But the media is not going to say Victoria is standing against Dan Andrews' tyranny. Dan Andrews must remove himself. He has to stand down. Otherwise, Victoria might just rise up and remove him themselves. That would be the honest application, because the people are clearly very pissed off. But who knows? Maybe Dan thinks that he can secure power forever. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens after this.
It's certainly what he wants.
Yeah, big time.
As we walked towards Flagstaff Gardens, I couldn't help but notice just how many boomers were out and about. They were all over the place, doing their boomer dances and boomer cheers. Boomers, absolutely everywhere. We even found part of the crowd now known as Boomer Central. This was probably about as boomer as it gets.
This is just absolute peak boomer zone right here. We're in boomer watch. We're in boomer territory right now, David. The wild boomer, having been let off the leash for a day to not worry about their stock portfolio and futures options bonds. They've come out in force to demonstrate against the tyranny that they thought they were demonstrating against in the 1960s. What do you think, David?
Little did they know that they were actually bringing in the tyranny that they're protesting against now. Yeah, that's the irony.
Yes. Yeah. Some might say too little too late, but at least it's something.
Then I ran into this curious fella.
Say something? You want to say something?
Oh, no, I'm just wondering why the police have all got masks on when there's no restrictions outside. And they're all double vaxxed.
It's because they are the unknown stormtroopers of the state.
It is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Interesting, eh?
Boomer watch. Boomers playing ukulele. What more could you want of the protest, David?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, what I want to see is I want to see boomers Fed posting. Then we know.
Every weekend.
Yeah. Then we know everything's going to change.
It'll bring back memories of the 60s, guys. It'll be just like the 60s and the 70s.
Just with less drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe this time we're against the drugs.
Reclaim your youth. Make up for the mistake last time.
Yeah.
Make up for the
I like the idea of going back to the 1460s.
Hey?
Yeah, I like the idea of going back to the 1460s and correcting.
Yeah. Maybe something like, maybe just start all over.
The crowd had completely taken over Flagstaff Gardens, with some taking desperate measures to get a good view of the event.
Have you ever seen anything like this, David?
This doesn't even get all the crowd. That's the thing. And it's all the way up underneath the tree line. It goes all the way onto the streets, all the way over back there. It's actually massive,
people are
isn't
still
it?
coming.
And people
are still coming
joining,
up William Street.
Still coming in.
It's like a festival with a lot less drinking and no drugs.
Yeah, and better music.
Yeah. What's the Freedom Keepers?
Freedom Keepers is Freedom Keepers
Sorry?
Australia. It's Freedom Keepers Australia, and it's Freedom Keepers United all around the world.
Oh, okay, so it's a special organisation, is it?
Yep.
So who are you? I've never heard of you before.
Oh, you gotta look us up.
Hey?
You gotta look us up.
But what if we Google Freedom Keepers and it's some like random terrorist group that we never heard of
You
before?
gotta look up and find out, don't you?
Oh, you too.
Face of terrorism.
Yeah. What's in that backpack? For people who can't read, that says, "Go away, Daniel Andrews. We don't like you."
I think it says, "Let's go, Brandon."
Let's go, Brandon.
The mainstream media dared to make an appearance, but stupidly wore face nappies, giving themselves away very quickly. As soon as protesters caught wind, they couldn't wait to remind these corporate shills that nobody likes them.
Surrounding the mainstream media. Sky News. Pretty sure that's Sky News anyway.
This protest brought together hundreds of thousands of Australians who are sick and tired of state tyranny. They may not be able to articulate the exact cause of the evil or agree on the solution, but they all knew something was wrong and are willing to take a stand against the ruling class. Just as a bonus, word on the street is the far left could barely manage 20 people to attend their counter rally, proving once again that they are not on the side of the people, but of the ruling class and their god, Satan. Importantly, because they were unable to start any violence, there was a fun and family-friendly atmosphere. Before heading home, I partook in a great boomer pastime of eating foreign food.
That's my hair. Like that's look at the size of it. That's huge. It's one of the biggest meal I've ever seen. Do you reckon there's about 6 million people here, David?
Possibly, but are there 6 million people even in the state?
Does that even matter? True. I don't think that matters.
True.
Yeah.